Hello, everybody. Today's practice will be a more gentle restorative practice, and we will begin with a guided meditation. So go ahead and come into a comfortable lying position for yourself. And if you like your legs to be long, if you like to roll up a blanket and place it underneath your knees, or if you prefer to have your knees bent, feet standing. And so take the next few moments to settle in with your mat, tune in with your breath, and sense the air coming in through the nostrils, moving down the back of your throat, down to the lungs, the heart, and the belly. And with your slow exhale, it's as if the breath is massaging your organs as it rises up and releases outward. Easy, full breath in. Exhale with a softening from the inside out. And with your next breath, have a sense of spreading your collarbones wide, opening up the space that holds your heart. And with the breath in, as the collarbones spread wide, extends over the shoulders as they melt down. And then creating open space a little more down into the heart area. Lay one hand on your heart chest area, one hand on your belly, and bring your awareness to the space that surrounds your heart. And notice the space rise and fall with each breath. And the upper body rising and falling with the breath, moving into your hand and then falling down towards your mat at rise and fall. As you inhale, the lungs fill, the belly expands with fresh air. And as you exhale, your belly softly contracts, emptying out, creating space for new awareness. And breath in, receiving and softening. And now imagine you're breathing in a large emerald light through your nostrils. And this breath settles down into your heart space. And with it, this emerald light brings its warmth, making the entire upper body feel toasty and cozy. And as you breathe, allow this light and warmth to grow. And you can remain soft with the breath, but allowing the light and the warmth to grow. I'm going to repeat the following mantra 7 times, and I'll say it slow enough so that you can repeat it as I go along. I'll read it once so you know what is coming. I embrace the radiant brilliance of my loving heart. I embrace the radiant brilliance of my loving heart. I embrace the radiant brilliance of my loving heart. I embrace the radiant brilliance of my loving heart. I embrace the radiant brilliance of my loving heart. I embrace the radiant brilliance of my loving heart. I embrace the radiant brilliance of my loving heart. I embrace the radiant brilliance of my loving heart. And if your legs are long, go ahead and bend your knees and bring them in towards your belly with your hands over the top of your knees. And we'll have gentle pulses of bringing the thighs in toward the belly. And we'll stay really close. It's a very small rock. Almost feels like a pulse that just keeps coming in toward the belly. And then with your next exhale, lengthen your arms long. So it feels as if your legs are dangling from your hands. Your ankles are relaxed. And again, drawing the thighs in, you have that sense of rocking or pulsing in toward the thigh, really gentle, super small. So it's not as if your pelvis is really rocking off the floor, super small. And then one last time, lengthening the arms. And gently release the feet to standing, arms down by your thighs. And then let them spread out to the side in the letter T. Open the legs mat width apart and let the legs fall to the right. And either stay in your T or you can slide the arms up into a wide V or Y. And throughout your practice, every now and then check in to see if you can bring back that green, radiant emerald light. And as it pulses out from the heart area, with each inhale, you can think about or imagine that color spreading through the body. And then on an exhale, how it softens and maybe returns around the heart. Just every now and then throughout your practice today. And then coming back through center, melting onto your back, pausing here, and then letting the legs fall the other way. especially if your mind wandered, then that moment you catch that your mind has wandered into thinking land, bring it back to the imagination of the emerald green lights moving with your breath. And with an exhale, coming back to center, let your arms go back to that letter T if they were at the high V, thighs into your belly, and take the legs over to your left. Legs over to the left, really relaxing down. Inner and outer thighs relaxing, and that open spiral. And so opening toward the right shoulder rolling or melting back and down. And then the right arm's going to rise and arc over, closing in on the left hand, and then slide your right hand down, maybe past your fingers, and slide your hand back onto your hand. And when your heel of your hands connect, go ahead and open up again. You'll repeat this in your timing. Let your head and eyes follow your hand as you close. And then as your right hand slides down, yeah, just notice how the head rolls, how you really lengthen across the upper back and soften more in on the front chest, heart area. So front of the body, front of the heart, there's an enfolding and enclosing. And at the back of the heart, back of the lungs, back of the ribs, there's a sense of widening, lengthening across. And there's no rush. So no real change in speed. Each time you come back to the opening, spiral rotation, there's a slight pause. And you can take as long as you want here. And then finding your smooth rhythm as you enclose, slide. Another area to explore is the ribs along the left side of your body. And so noticing whether you're opening or closing, how you're rolling along the ribs, giving them a little massage. I'm going to close and open one more time. And again, do take your time, because eventually we'll all end on our back. And so it's fine if you're moving slower. And the slower, the better. The body and mind get to sync up a little more easily that way. And after you've opened and you've had a pause, you can bring your arms in toward the body, slide your feet back onto the mat. Try not to lift the legs. And then come into a place of rest with the arms down by your sides. Arms rotated, palms more open to the sky. As you take a body scan here, notice how the left side of your body is connecting with your mat. And then let your eye wander over to your right body half. And just notice where in your body you feel maybe more connected to your mat, where maybe you feel more breadth or width across the body, and where other places might seem a little bit more removed from your mat, maybe a little bit more pointy or jagged. And appreciating that all will change again and again. Bend your knees to stand your feet. And allowing those thighs to come toward the belly, arms back to the T, and taking your legs over to the right. And so now the heart side is spiraling open. Right shoulder, left shoulder, sorry, it is rolling back and down. And then the left arm starts to carve through the air, landing gently on top of your right hand, sliding down. So you're staying connected as long as you can until your hand slides off to the floor, and then sliding back on and opening. You're letting the sunshine back in, letting that green light radiate out into the world. Reconnecting with your breath with awareness. Allowing the head to roll, and then gently reconnecting back as you roll the back of your skull. Another opportunity to sense how the bottom ribs connect down with the mat. As you move along the back, the sides, and a little bit of the front of the ribs when your hand slides away. Nothing is forced, soft. There's a sense of ease and flow. And you can, when you open, feel that you can pause there for as brief or as long as you like, but definitely a pause. And I'm going to close and open for my last time here. And when you arrive, stay long enough to feel like you've arrived. And then you can bring the arms in closer to you. Try and slide your feet along your mat, your arms along your body, and to come to your place of rest. Arms rotated, palms to the sky. And once again, scanning your body, noticing how the left side has evolved, the right side. And sometimes the changes feel awkward. Sometimes they feel really delicious. Sometimes it's more neutral. But appreciating that you have created change by letting go, by moving with the breath, Your body is finding new pathways, new openings. And all the while, this green emerald light is pulsating out from your heart, warming your body, a good sense of coziness within oneself. And then bend your knees to stand your feet. You're going to roll over onto your side and come into child's pose. You can relax the arms by your ears, down by your thighs. Big toes connected. And the legs can be near each other or further apart. And then walk your arms to the right low diagonal and let your hips roll to your left. As if your breath were like a wave that keeps moving down along the left body half, filling up on the inhale, and then the breath, like the wave, recedes just a little bit down into the body, and then another breath, and softening through the exhale. And walk your hands back through center, and then over to your left low diagonal, and the hips rolling to the right. And now this sense of your breath as a wave, expanding and filling, lengthening along the right side of your body, and receding into softness through your exhale. And walking your hands back to center. Rising up to all fours for cat and cow. If you like to stay on your forearms, you can stay on your forearms. And first have this sense of the strong pillars of your arms and your legs, and that the torso, head, and pelvis will move between these four pillars. Let's rise up into cat, initiating from the heart. Initiating from the heart area as you rise up into cat. And then as you lengthen, let the heart lengthen first, the belly, the pelvis will follow after. And again, the heart leads first, the lower half follows, and moving at kind of a slow pace. You have this connection down to the earth through the arms and the legs, and the belly and the heart rising toward the sky and then lengthening above the earth. And the next time you come up into cat, for about 2 or 3 times, we'll go into moving cat and cow. So we shift our weight forward a little, and then the heart, as if it were coming down to kiss the earth as you move back through cow, rounding up toward the sky, toward the space above you as you move through cat, and then the heart gesturing, the heart area gesturing toward the earth. And I'm going to move through my cat and cow one more time. And as you come into or head back towards child's pose, go ahead and move into that position and lengthen your arms long with the elbows raised. And sensing where your fingertips are in space, where your tailbone is. Breath moving from the fingertips down toward the tailbone, which is moving away from the fingertips. And then bringing yourself onto your belly into Sphinx pose. And so your legs will be, I'm going to rotate myself. Your legs could be in a narrow V, elbows more or less underneath your shoulders, fingers relaxed and open along the floor. When you draw your next breath in, see if you can sense the pubic bone, located inches below the belly button, below front of the pelvis. And then actively lengthen the thighs so your knees just kind of hover on your mat, all the way down to the tops of your feet. And feel a rise of the upper body. Initiating now from the back of the heart and the space between the shoulder blades. So we're moving with our awareness to the back surface of our body for a moment. And let the shoulder blades move in toward the spine. And now sense the front of the body moving toward the earth. And then reversing that, expanding across the upper back surface of your body. And drawing the heart back up. So shoulder blades moving, initiating first in towards the spine. Your shoulders are wrapping around, front to the sides, to the back. And we're going to repeat this quite a few more times. At any time you would like to take a rest and come down and rest on your belly, rest with your forehead on your hands or one cheek. And try and move at a slow, moderate to slow pace. Again, anytime you need to take a pause, take a pause. And as you continue to move, see if you can make the movements a little less effortful. And so we're trying to find maximum ease, smoothness. Maybe you can really highlight the emerald green lights around the heart, front of the heart, the back of the heart, and how it's spreading across the chest, the upper back, down to the ribs, even all the way down into the pelvis. And then the next time you come up, pause, and then go ahead and release. Resting down, forehead on your hands, a cheek on your mat. Then bend your knees and windshield wiper side to side. Circle your shins 3 times in one direction and 3 times in the other. And let your legs rest down. Guide yourself back into child's pose. And if it's comfortable for your shoulders, allow your arms to come down by your thighs. That way you can really relax, open, across the shoulder blades, the space in between. And now coming onto your belly once again, a little different this time. And so you have an option. Our right hand will be standing, and your left hand, here's where the options come in. Your left arm can be long, or you can rest your forehead on your left hand. And using your right hand, you're going to give a little push so that you're rocking side to side. And so if your left arm is long, your forehead may be on the floor. You don't want to be holding it up. No effort around the neck if possible. And giving yourself a rock, 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 a continuous rock. And then we're going to give ourselves a little bit more of a push so you roll onto your left side and your legs start to bend a little bit. And then with control, melting back down and right into that rock again. Rocking, rocking, rocking. And then a push, guiding yourself onto your side and coming back down. And a push, rocking, rocking, rocking. Rocking, rocking, rocking. And this time we give ourselves our push. You're going to roll off your right arm. Let that right arm slide out so you come into larger spiral rotation. Adjust the legs if you like to bring the bottom leg underneath so you're stacked. Adjust if you like. Another breath here. And then bending the right elbow. Hand comes towards your shoulder, slides across the clavicles. Find that connection down your left arm until you arrive on your back and you're in half frog with your right leg lengthening away from your navel and just pausing here. And then using your right hand, give yourself a little push to the left. Slide that leg back down. And once again, all rocks to the side, rocking, rocking, rocking. And then let that come to a stillness. And if you like to rest your forehead on both hands for a moment, breathing down into the front surface of your body as the breath rises up to the back surface of your body. And then switching arms. So right hand could be under your forehead, right arm long, standing your left arm, giving yourself a little rock, little pulsing rocks from side to side. Organs again sloshing around on the inside. Very pliable. And then a push so that you roll more onto the right side and then slide your hand along the floor as you come back out. Readjust your hands so you can give that rocking, rocking, rocking motion a little bit of momentum. It's rare that I use momentum, but here we can. And then a push. And I'll let your legs respond with you. And then slide. back. And one more time. Rocking, rocking. And a push. And keep going. So now your right arm slides down. Your left opens out. Adjusting your legs as needed, gently. Bending your left elbow so your hand comes towards your shoulder, slides over the upper torso, down the right arm. And so you come back onto your belly with your left leg in an open number 7. So try not to close that heel in. Half frog. And then with your left hand standing, give yourself a little push to draw that left leg back in. And then just one more round of rocking. That standing left hand. And then slowing that down as lazily as you can. Try not to lift your arms too much or your feet too much. You're going to make your way onto your back. Bend those knees. Stand those feet until you're on your back. And then try not to worry about really adjusting and fixing yourself right now. Just allow the body to rest long. It's an opportunity to scan where you are now without the fussing and editing of where you are on your mat or your clothes. Just easy breaths and tuning into where you are at this moment. And then go ahead and bend your knees and stand your feet, drawing the thighs up towards your belly again. Arms out into a letter T. And taking the legs over to the left. Allow your head to roll to the right. And imagine you have a piece of chalk in your right hand. We're going to trace a circle once in each direction, starting with moving in a direction towards the back of your mat. So you have your piece of chalk, and your head and eyes are following. Your arm might be in the air. It's all good. And you're tracing around, head and eyes following, even when you lose sight. As you come around towards your left hand, you might notice that you roll more onto your left side. And you go over the legs and coming back. And when you arrive, circle down. Again, but your head and eyes follow. This is not to be rushed. Imagine that you are getting paid $50,000 for each circle, but it needs to be as smooth as possible. So you come back to your T. And then soften the arms into the body, melting onto your back. And first let the arms return to the T and then the legs over to the left. I'm sorry, to your right. The chalk is in your left hand. And then we begin tracing overhead, eyes following, upper body moving as you roll a little bit more onto that right side. Go over the legs, soften back open into that spiral rotation. And then reverse, going down, smooth, smooth circle, tracing overhead. And so you come back to that letter C. And then the arms soften in toward the body, roll onto your back. Give yourself a hug, maybe a little rock if you like. Let the head roll with you. And then stand your feet and lengthen long into your place of Shavasana. Rest, allowing the body to assimilate the various experiences it just had. And then bend your knees to stand your feet. I will lead you through a different closure of class today. You're going to roll back over onto all fours and then begin to bring yourself up to standing. Let the upper body unfurl. It's as if the vertebrae are stacking one back on top of each other. And when you arrive, have a really soft gaze. If you like to close your eyes for a moment. And just feel how your body is standing here, how your feet might have the sensation of spreading out into your mat more, the ease of the arms resting down in the shoulders, and anything else that you notice. I'd like for you to stay within yourself right now as opposed to looking out at anyone as you take a walk off your mat and go slow. Just want you to feel how the lungs might be feeling as you're walking. The arms can stay relaxed. Maybe you notice something around your low back or your pelvis that feels at ease. And then wherever you are, pause. Fingers already reaching to the earth. And then the arms spreading out wide, rising to the sky and coming in to your heart. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. And thank you. Namaste. Thank you for sharing and practice. I will see you again soon. Take good care.